Hey guys, quick update. Just wanted to show you around the Corsair rig. Now I've built a system in there. What I've done is I've built a Rampage Extreme 775 motherboard in there with a pair of 1GB 4870 graphics cards, 4GB of 1600 MHz RAM, and there's a Q6600 in there. And this heatsink is a Nexus, I think it's a H9000C, something like that. But I built a full system in there, like with big parts. Corsair 1000 watt power supply. I mean, you can see how much room you get in front of that. These rails are literally millimetre perfect for a Corsair power supply. The cabling is pretty good. You can push everything straight through the back. That still needs to be pushed through a bit, but the main thing I wanted to show you now is I've put a full size radiator atop. That's a Black Ice GTX. Show you how big the radiator is. There you go, it's a full size 60mm radiator. So you can get a rad at the top and then still get a full size heatsink. Now, I know you're not really going to want to do this, but the idea was to show you that if needs be, if you're running a water cooled system without the big heatsink here, there would be room to get another batch of fans. So you could have fans at the top and fans at the bottom of the rad to allow you to do push-pull. This case, I can't get over how big everything is. There's 80mm spare space from the end of the PCI plates to the outside of the case. This case is enormously wide. But as I'm building it up, something that I am concerned about is this is the intake fan for the main section of the case, which draws air from in front of the power supply, draws up from here and then blows into the case. But there's a fan behind this for the hard drives with a vent that pulls down and also draws air from the same place. So this small section of mesh is the only air intake for the entire case. Now, if you have this 140mm fan running and this 120mm fan running, and then 3 or even 6 120mm fans running at the top, all sucking from that one place, I would be worried that within 20mm of space underneath the case, whether this is going to be enough. Now obviously I've not tested this yet, and I will test this, but as I'm building it, this is something that I'm going to be I'm going to want to look at a lot closer. The only other option will be to turn the rear exhaust fan, flip it round and run it as an intake, so you get a bit more air coming in that way, which obviously is an option, but it's not ideal. Anyway, that's what that's what it looks like with the system in there. I've put a 1TB Samsung spin point hard drive in there and a Western Digital 300GB Velociraptor, because what I'm going to do, because of the way the airflow is, I'm going to test the cooling with the hard drives with and without the fan on, just to see if this, because it is quite a complicated layout, sucking through from the bottom, comes up, then gets blown across the fans, then gets exhausted out of the back of the case here. So we'll see if that does work by just switching the fan off. All in all though, building it, there's so much room in this case, it's unreal. Yet to see when I put the fans back on, I mean, there's nowhere to clip any of these wires. Obviously you can bunch them together, but I'm leaving them loose because Corsair haven't made any haven't put any slots in to be able to cable tie, so I'm not going to cable tie them and see how difficult it is to put the back panel on. And there we go. that's what it looks like with the rig in there. I don't use internal optical drives personally, but I've built one in there for the sake of showing. And then something I have noticed, I'll put the camera down, is that a set of hard drives in the lower section can only go in from the front, and I thought they went in from the back, but they don't. So you have to take the whole front panel off to get to those lower ones. But that'd be a good place to stash your big storage hard drives or something that you're not going to want to take out very often, or your main OS drive. Yeah, there you can see it. Right, I'm going to sign off, get this thing back indoors, get it booted up.